The sun was sinking beneath the undulating hills, stretching elongated golden shadows across the dirt-covered road. The growl of a motorcycle resonated faintly through the tranquil countryside, shattering the stillness of a solitary evening. Next to an aged wooden fence sat a small girl, without shoes, battered, and gripping a tattered teddy bear against her chest, as though it were her last remaining shield in the world. Her face was smeared with grime and tears, her fragile body shivering, not from the chill, but from terror. She had no idea where to turn or whom to believe in. She had been traveling on foot for hours after fleeing from a house that never felt like home. The noise of the motorcycle intensified. The girl's eyes grew wide with alarm as she attempted to drag herself away, her ankle bending painfully under her weight. The motorcycle halted just a few feet from her, its engine rumbling quietly. A towering man dismounted, wide shoulders, leather vest, a skull and wings emblem sewn onto his arm, and an aura that could hush an entire room. To most people, he might have appeared threatening, but the instant his gaze landed on the girl, his face grew tender. He moved closer gradually, cautious not to frighten her. "Please don't harm me. I'm unable to move," the girl sobbed, her voice scarcely audible as she embraced the teddy bear more firmly. Before we continue further into this narrative, if you have faith and compassion, in fresh starts, and the strength of noble hearts concealed beneath rugged appearances, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Pass this story along to someone who still has faith that humanity endures, and let us know in the comments where you're viewing from. The man's name was Jack Turner, a seasoned biker, a drifter who had devoted much of his existence riding from one town to another, attempting to outrun the specters of his history. Years before, he had lost everything: his spouse, his daughter, his tranquility. He no longer had faith in angels. He no longer had faith in fresh starts. But in that instant when he spotted the frightened little girl sitting isolated beside the road, something within him transformed. He lowered himself into the dirt, pulling off his gloves, and offered a tender hand. His voice was steady, rough-edged, yet gentle. Hey, it's all right, kid. You're safe now." The girl remained motionless. Her large brown eyes studied him intently, searching for threat in every movement. Her name, he would discover later, was Lily. She had nobody. Her mother had died months earlier, and her father, well, he was a man best left unremembered. She had been enduring on her own, resting wherever possible, foraging for sustenance, clinging to that old teddy bear because it was the sole fragment of her mother remaining. Jack felt something tighten in his chest, an ache he hadn't permitted himself to experience for years. He glimpsed flashes of his daughter in her eyes, the identical fear, the identical innocence that life had treated cruelly. Without thinking, he removed his leather vest and draped it around her small shoulders. It was oversized, but it stopped her trembling. She gazed up at him, then truly gazed, and for an instant the fear diminished. The sun descended further, bathing the world in amber radiance. Behind them, the field rippled softly with the evening wind. Jack lifted her carefully, her tiny hands gripping his arm as though afraid he would disappear. He positioned her on the motorcycle, fastening her with his jacket, and for the first time in days, she shut her eyes without terror. They departed down the silent road, a shattered man and a forgotten child, both unknowingly rescuing each other. That evening, Jack brought her to his modest cabin at the edge of town. He prepared her hot soup, tended to the wounds on her knees, and remained beside her until she drifted to sleep. Observing her there, nestled on the couch with her teddy bear beneath a warm blanket, he understood something. Perhaps he couldn't repair his own history, but he could ensure this little girl had a tomorrow. Days transformed into weeks. Lily started to smile once more, a gentle, timid smile that dissolved Jack's barriers. He showed her how to ride a small bike, how to sketch, how to feed the wandering dogs that visited every evening. In exchange, she filled his hollow existence with something he hadn't experienced in years: meaning. She decorated little hearts on his bike with chalk, explaining, "So it doesn't appear so frightening anymore." Jack chuckled, something he hadn't done since before the darkness tore his life to pieces. But the world hadn't finished challenging them. One morning, Jack discovered that Child Services had been notified. Someone had spotted Lily with him and made a report. He understood the system. Impersonal, indifferent, and swift to remove what love constructed gradually. He attempted to clarify that she had no other place to turn, that he was caring for her, but regulations don't always comprehend hearts. When they arrived to collect her, Lily held on to him, sobbing, pleading, "Please don't let them take me. Please." It shattered him. He vowed to her he wouldn't allow the world to wound her again, and he honored that vow. With assistance from a local woman named Maria, who operated a shelter and comprehended what Lily had endured, Jack submitted documents to officially foster her. The procedure was lengthy, difficult, and filled with inquiries, but Jack didn't surrender. For once, he battled for something that genuinely mattered. Months afterward it occurred. The day the court granted his guardianship, Jack stood outside, clutching the papers in one hand and Lily's small hand in the other. She gazed up at him and murmured, "Can I call you Dad?" Tears welled in his eyes, but he succeeded in smiling. "Yeah, sweetheart, you can." They traveled home, that evening as the sun descended behind them, her laughter ringing through the open road, merging with the gentle thunder of the motorcycle. The identical road where she had once wept in fear now delivered her home in security. If this story moved your heart, if you have faith that compassion can emerge from the most unlikely souls, please like this video, share it with someone who requires hope, and subscribe for more genuine stories that remind us what humanity genuinely means. And before you leave, tell us in the comments, what did you experience when you witnessed Jack kneel down to console that frightened little girl? Did it remind you of something, or someone you once lost? Because sometimes the most fractured people are the ones who understand precisely how to mend others.